Hey everybody, and welcome to this episode of Previews Reviews, which takes a look at comic books coming out into stores that are in this April edition of Previews magazine. And these will be hitting store shelves sometime in June.
Yeah.
I'm Kevin Hickey.
I am Ricky Lima.
And Ricky, could you please tell the fine folks out there where this show is coming to them
They're
from?
coming to them from Brampton, Ontario, Canada,
Mm-hmm.
from our Sidekick store,
Right.
which is probably the best store in existence throughout all time.
Even better than the Stadium Mall store?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I would
It's
not
bigger.
agree with that.
It's
I would
bigger.
say that they're equal, on equal footing.
Well, you're wrong.
Okay. Previews, of course, is the magazine that most comic shops use to order all of their comic book product out of and a lot of pop culture items. You definitely want to take a look through this magazine at your local shop and let them know what it is they can order in for you, because there's literally thousands of different items in here. And if one store were to hold all of the items that are in this Previews magazine, it would probably be the largest building on the face of the earth. So,
Yeah, that's all right.
Ricky, the current trend in comics seems to be taking a property that people loved and adored, and then eventually, loved and adored a little less.
Yeah.
But now things have turned around. A full 360 nostalgia has kicked in, and people are looking to rekindle some of that love and adoration they had for these certain properties.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a lot of that with stuff like X-Files comics,
Buffy,
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Firefly,
Smallville.
Smallville.
All of these series that could no longer continue on the small screen are now making their way to the printed page. And the books this month are certainly no exception. And I think you're going to be pretty excited about the stuff that will be coming out. So let's just get it started. And the first comic up from Image Comics is Who's the Boss, issue number 1. Ayo, OA. Who's the Boss is back, and the questions around who really is the boss are still being asked, and there's still no answer. Tony Maselli and Angela Bauer continue right where the show left off. Having finally confessed their feelings for each other, they now wrestle with questions from family and friends about when exactly the wedding is going to be. But Tony's been offered a dream job with his beloved St. Louis Cardinals, and there's conflict from a handsome new client at the Bauer agency who may have a little more than advertising on his mind. Is one of TV's greatest romances doomed to fail? Plus, there's a new baby in store for Samantha, Jonathan is having trouble at boarding school, and good old Mona is up to her tricks, chewing up men and spitting them out at the new retirement home. It really is a brand new life around the bend, and you don't want to miss a single issue. They're going to be hotter than Mrs. Rosini's cooking. Written by Grant Morrison, illustrated by Frank Quitely. Nice. I'm looking forward to this book.
It sounds amazing. And that team, if all new X-Men, or if new X-Men could show you anything, I think they can pull it off.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Frank Quitely applies his styling and his artistic sensibilities to this beloved 80s and early 90s sitcom.
Yeah. I really hope he can turn Mona into something that everyone can really fawn over,
Well, I don't think quite honestly, Ricky, that much needs to be done there.
That's true.
In the artistic department. Mona is quite the specimen, and I think she sets all of our hearts aflutter. If I'm just speaking from the heart here. What I'm more interested in is will this be a harder edge? Who's the Boss? I mean, it was very lighthearted in its TV form, but with Grant Morrison writing it,
it's true.
The sky's the limit.
I mean, what happens at that boarding school, right? What's the troubles there?
I bet you it's all kinds of sick and twisted stuff. If I know Grant Morrison,
satanic rituals, probably.
Satanic rituals. Who knows? It runs the gamut.
What I find really interesting is that we see Image moving into licensed properties. And Image usually stays away from that.
And it's interesting considering Eric Stevenson's recent speech at the Comics Pro meeting where he railed against licensed product and said that comics aren't real that are licensed. But who can blame Mr. Stevenson for taking a pass when it comes to a property such as Who's the Boss? Just the fact that they were able to land the license to this story is a triumph.
You don't pass that up.
No, you don't. You don't. So. No matter what you've said about licensed comics. So kudos to Image Comics. Can't wait for Who's the Boss issue #1. I think it's going to be one of this year's smash hits.
Up next, we got a book that I'm excited for, Baywatch #1 by IDW. Some people stand in the darkness afraid to step into the light, but not Mitch Buchanan. He's returned to the beaches of Los Angeles County to head up the team of lifesavers once again. And there's a new recruit on the block, Mitch's own son, Hobie Buchanan. But there's trouble as a new city councilor has ideas for what he wants the beautiful beaches turned into. A crowded casino with lots of space for parking. This causes Mitch to run for office, and who is going to head up his campaign team? Familiar faces C.J. Parker, Summer Quinn, Matt Brody, and Cody Madison. That's who. Issue #1 will ship featuring brand new technology in the form of slow motion 3D covers by J. Scott Campbell, with Mitch and the ladies of Baywatch running towards the ocean. Story by David Hasselhoff, interiors by Joe Mad.
Wow, this is great. Now, not only did IDW land the license to one of TV's most beloved properties, Baywatch, which was actually a long-running show, an international hit all across the globe, but they've brought together J. Scott Campbell, Joe Mad, and the Hoff all together working on one book.
Yeah. I mean, stuff like that, you can't hassle the Hoff on that stuff.
Right.
You just...
I mean, it was only a matter of time before they got this super group together. It was inevitable that at some point, forces of the universe would work together to bring them all together.
Yeah, and I mean, this interior art is just fantastic.
It's crazy. And I'm really interested to see what this 3D slow motion, beach run cover looks like. And the fact that it's going to be by J. Scott Campbell, you can be assured that there'll be some extra jiggle in that cover, if you know what I'm saying.
Whoa, maybe other variants will have silicone implants and stuff.
The sky's the limit with this book.
Yeah. What do you think the possibilities we can get signing with the Hoff and maybe Pamela Anderson?
I don't know. I mean, Pamela Anderson is Canadian. We could use that angle, try to get her to come to the store. But Ricky, I think what I'm really looking forward to in this book is taking the Baywatch concept and turning it more into a socio-political drama. As we're fighting against the paving over of paradise, as Joni Mitchell once said, to put up a parking lot.
You're right.
Yeah. And it's great to see Mitch Buchanan fighting to save the precious beaches of Los Angeles County.
And can we talk about his son's name, Hobie? That's Hobie, the greatest name.
Yeah. Hobie's cool, man. Don't mess with Hobie. Now, obviously, we've looked at the Who's the Boss comic and the Baywatch comic. Which of the two comics do you think is going to perform better in the month of June?
Probably the Baywatch, because it's got more fan service in it.
Right.
It's got more of the jiggly bits.
You think...
mean, Who's the Boss got Mona, but
right.
Baywatch has everything else.
Yeah.
So, and this book's going to be a huge hit in Germany, right?
That's true.
They love the Hoff.
Germans love David Hasselhoff, and I wouldn't be surprised if this went through 6 or 7 printings in that country alone.
German-specific printings.
Yep. Next up, Ricky, this is probably the one I'm most excited about. It holds a very special place in my heart, and I can't believe that the folks from Dark Horse were able to land this property. And it is Saved by the Bell, issue #1. Zack Attack is back! The Bayside Heights gang is in their last year of high school, and there are strange things afoot at Max's diner. Max has been arrested for murder, and there's a new owner in charge, no other than Mr. Belding? There isn't a caffeine pill in the world that can help Zach, Slater, Kelly, Jesse, Lisa, and Screech deal with having their meddling principal getting in the way of enjoying their favorite after-school hangout. Just when everything seems to be going wrong, Zach gets a call on his new cellular phone from the country of Japan. Apparently, Zack Attack's latest cassette tape has hit #1 on the charts. It's all acid-washed jeans, high-top sneakers, and neon from there. If you're reading this comic and your teacher pops a test, it's all right, because you're saved by the bell.
Well, this beautiful copy.
Wow,
right
they really captured the whole essence of the show.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So Max from the diner is a murderer.
Yeah, that's I'm a little skeptical about that. I think that's just like to draw you in. I don't know.
I think there's something more to it than
I think-
just it's not all
yeah.
black and white, is it?
I don't think so.
Who do you think they're going to say was killed? So one of the members of Saved by the Bell, the new class?
Hopefully.
Because come on, they didn't really compare. And if anybody's disposable,
Yeah.
it's those guys.
Maybe like Miss Bliss. We haven't seen her in a while.
Miss Bliss, maybe they found her in a freezer in the back or something.
Oh no.
That would be terrible. Or maybe that Tory chick that replaced
Yeah.
Kelly that one year.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
I agree. So does this take place in between the college years and the regular?
Yeah, good
thing
question,
like
Ricky. This comic actually supposes that the entire college years never happened.
that? What?
Yeah, this takes place during their time in Bayside. It actually takes place the year after they worked the summer at that beach resort in Malibu. You remember that season?
How can you
Yeah,
forget?
exactly. Rumor has it that they're going to be releasing a soundtrack accompaniment for this particular issue. It's going to come with a digital code. You type in the code on the website,
Yeah.
and you get to download the Zack Attack album in
Nice.
MP3 format.
Oh,
So
man.
that's pretty good. And there's also a rumor that we might be seeing, before the first arc is done, a crossover with the kids from California Dreams, which was kind of like the spin-off show from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, I'd read that.
So super excited about that. Mr. Belding running the Max, how well do you think that's going to work?
I know,
mean,
right?
come on.
God,
Guy can barely get his stuff together as principal.
What a guy.
This one's actually going to be written by Mark Millar, which I'm excited about,
Wow.
and Jim Lee on pencils.
Jim Lee.
Yeah, so
Whoa.
whoever
So-
thought we'd be seeing those two together
I
on a
know, especially on a Dark Horse.
on a Dark Horse title of all things. And isn't Jim Lee like a president of DC Comics?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The love of comics brought him away from that.
The love of Saved by the Bell, Ricky,
Yeah, no, that's
brought him
true.
away. I mean, that's something you step away from your regular job for. If you're given the opportunity
would.
to pencil Zach Morris.
If they came to
Come
me,
on.
I'd quit this job instantly.
So, question for you, Ricky.
Yeah.
Kelly, Jesse, or Lisa? Who's your pick?
I'll go with Jesse.
Really?
Yeah.
Going
You
with the
seen-
show. Going with the showgirl,
Yeah,
eh?
you seen that movie? It's
I've
a
always
good
been a
movie.
Kelly Kapowski man myself.
I
But
guess. And Lisa now is crazy.
is she?
So yeah, she writes books that are just insane.
Nice. Well, good for her. And we did have some honorable mentions for the month of April that we just don't have time to get to. Ricky, you want
Spider-Man, Batman? That looks really good.
Spider-Man Batman crossover? Yeah, there's the Leave It to Beaver comic.
Yeah, it's published by Archie. That's going to be like
Yeah,
the best
it's
one.
going to be great. And of course, Ricky, we can't forget to tell everybody about the big news about your book, Black Hole Hunters Club, picked up by Marvel Comics.
Yeah, they said this book is the best. We need to publish it. Yeah, we're gonna have like a 10 variant run. It's gonna be
It's like, I think
Crazy.
8 out of those 10 variants are Scotty Young variants too,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. And we have like 4 animal covers. It's gonna be pretty good.
So that's actually like 12 variants. 8 Scotty
Math.
Youngs
It
and
doesn't matter.
4 animal covers.
It doesn't matter.
Good on you, man. I'm so glad that your work is getting to see the light of day as far as a major publisher is concerned.
Hey,
And I know everybody out there is excited to see what
yeah.
Marvel does with it.
Hopefully they don't mess it up.
Movie coming in 2016, maybe?
Definitely coming in
That's good.
2016.
That's good. All right, that is it for this episode of Previews Reviews. Ricky, I think everyone out there would be a fool to ignore these comics
I
that are
agree.
hitting shelves. And this April edition of Previews really hits the mark for me
Yeah.
in terms of new comics that are coming out. It's going to be one hell of a spring and summer.
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's gonna be the best.
So stay tuned for next time when we take a look at more merchandise coming to stores starting in the month of June with our next episode of Previews Reviews. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the month of April.